This whole concept of democracy is a facade, the entertainment for the poor, to think that by voting a president into power, they've actually put a man in control. We need people like Traore, who wakes up in the morning and said, I need 3,000 trucks of road equipment on the road by tomorrow. And 3 kilometers from Ghana into Burkina Faso, they are there by tomorrow. I need a hospital there. I need an aeroplane manufacturing industry there. I need and you need to give a president power, the one who can decide, not the one who can steal, the one who can decide and make a change. We look at our countries. Look at Kenya, almost 50 years of independence.
60.
Look
63 actually.
Look at Ghana, 63. Look at Zimbabwe, 40 something. And the roads that the colonialists built, we're even battling to repair them with potholes and etc. And you wonder, for the past 45 years, what are we doing? Here's the Minister of Roads, here's the Minister of Public Works, but they simply can't get things done.
Samia Suluhu's gender doesn't excuse authoritarianism, no. Being the first female president is very historic. We are going to clap. But leadership must still be accountable. You cannot celebrate women in power while women are being arrested for speaking their truth. You cannot post campaign posters while citizens are vanishing. You decorate the whole country green and yellow, and your citizens are vanishing. And you still want to act unbothered. No. Please, also, we cannot call that democracy if your name is the only name on the ballot. Please. And you now, the artists, you cannot say you sing for the people and then stay silent when those same people are crying for help. You see how Diamond shakes his kiuno singing for you guys, but now all of a sudden he's mute, numb. He doesn't know what is happening to you. Harmonize and the song. What is that song that we love watching the video? Amenyeshewa na mvua. Harmonize. You are busy saying huko amenyeshewa na mvua, and then you can't even call out injustices. Eh? I don't think I will love your hairstyle after this. Apana. Harmonize. Eh? Alikiba. Come on, guys. You have to realize that Tanzania's youth are watching. And Africans across the continent are also watching. This moment is not just about Suluhu becoming president again. It is about what kind of culture we are building as Africans. Are we raising a generation of entertainers who speak truth to power? Or entertainers who perform for power? By the way, performative celebrities. These performative activists. Aish, apana. Anyways, let's continue asking ourselves important questions. Are we creating a society that rewards courage or one that is going to reward silence? And the truth is, this backlash against Tanzanian celebrities is not hate, as we said. It is an awakening. These are citizens realizing that influence without integrity is very dangerous. These are fans who are reminding artists that fame is borrowed and it comes from the people. It can be given and it can be taken away. Are we together? So yes, Samia Suluhu may win this election, which I know definitely. These people, see, you just announce her as the president. So you announce her as the president, she might win. But she didn't win the people's faith. Maybe not the majority of them. And the artists who stood beside her may have gained political access, but they have definitely lost moral currency. In the end, the stage is not separate from the street, and history will not remember those who had the most followers, but it will remember those who had the courage to speak when silence was profitable. Silence is very profitable, my people. The deals people get for aligning with the right people. Silence is very profitable. When you speak, just know. You'll never get a deal, never. And you have to make peace with that. Maybe the bigger question we need to ask, not just in Tanzania but across Africa, is this: can we really separate the art from the artists during moments of injustice? Because when an artist uses their voice to praise power while others are being silenced, that art becomes political, whether they like it or not. When a musician sings about freedom but ignores those who are jailed for asking for it, their lyrics become useless. When influencers are posting love and light, we love doing that, love and light. But you are posting while citizens are mourning their disappeared loved ones.
To serve humanity and serve human rights, human rights, human rights. What is human rights? Where do these rights come from? They don't come from me. They don't come from the Constitution. No, they don't. They are traceable to a source above and beyond, outside of that fading parchment that we call the Constitution. Pray for me, that at some point I may also probably become a saint. Right now, I'm just a sinner seeking redemption. Imagination to the rescue. I propose to use as my frame of reference for the remarks that I will make 4 concepts that may seem not related in any shape or manner. The first is love. The second is transcendence. The third is gratitude. The fourth is imagination. On that note of transcendence, I acknowledge and humble myself, submit, surrender to that power above all, that transcendent power that is love, that is oneness, that is compassion, that is grace. That transcendent power that has manifested and recreated itself in each and every one of us here in its own image and likeness. So that even as we exclude, even as we discriminate against each other, that transcendent power and oneness brings us all together. Draws us close and brings us to a common center of consciousness, which is love. 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 Which, to my understanding, represents that supreme and abiding commitment to the well-being of others. Love. Love. In the fire next time, in that book, The Fire Next Time, James Baldwin says to us about love that it is so desperately sought and so cunningly avoided. Says it takes away the masks that we fear we cannot live without, and yet know we cannot live within. Love. And Fyodor Dostoevsky says to us, hell is the inability to love. And if love won't swing open the gates of hell, then nothing will. Love.
What a man can do, a woman can do. And what are we calling on women to do in this day and age? We are calling women and want women to be involved in decision making. Therefore, I want to see women being present in the political space. I want to see men, or rather women, being involved in the legal space. In fact, in Kenya today and many African countries, there are more women in the legal profession and in the medical profession than there are men. I want to see women in engineering. I want to see women in ICT, and there are very many women in that.
I've been coming here every day to preach about the equality of women in our communities, in our societies, in our countries. We've been coming here to preach about the empowerment and the support of the women, so that we can the voice of the women can be heard in our community, because we are equal. And it is said and believed that whatever a man can do, a woman can do it better. So we came to appreciate and celebrate the leadership on the victory of Namibian President Dr. Nandi and Tumbo Ndaitwa, because despite being a female leader or a president of Namibia, the great country of Namibia, he has stood in a front line to fight against the imperialists, against the corruption, and against those other leaders who are still associating with the former colonizers, selling out their country's richness, selling out their country's future. Because whenever you sell the richness of your country, then it means that you are selling the future of your country. You are selling the future of your generation, the generation of your country. And now,
not one, not two, but 3 women now sit at the helm of Namibia. Namibia has literally just made history as the first country in the entire world where women hold the top 3 leadership positions: President, Vice President, and Speaker of the National Assembly. At the United Nations General Assembly, President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa called this moment more than a national milestone. She described it as a symbol of progress and equality, not just for Namibia, but for women everywhere. Now, I want us to imagine if this didn't stand alone. What if other African nations followed suit? Imagine what would change if more women were at the very top of government. Policies might shift, priorities could broaden, and representation, I guess it would feel more inclusive. Namibia has set the pace. Now the question is, who will be next?
We've been saying that we need more women in leadership. We need more women in African continent, in African countries. But again, for the first time in East African countries, we have come to get a female leader who is a dictator, because first of all, this is a leader who just came in unelected because his predecessor was passed away, and which forced her as a deputy president to take over as a president, whereby he is supposed to lead this country until the time his terms or her terms end. That's when she will go to contest for another bid, and if she will be elected by the people, then it will be okay and grateful for her to come back in that office and continue leading the great people of Tanzania. I am talking about the Samia Suluhu Hassan, the leader and the president, the commander-in-chief of the country of Tanzania. What is he doing? What is she doing in the country of Tanzania? Because under her leadership, we have come to experience the bloodshed in this country, which has never experienced. We have come to experience the abductions. We have come to experience the massacres and the destructive of the country. I have come to before I go deeper, I just want to show you this clip. This is a clip of Botswana President His Excellency Duma Boko just walking on the street without bodyguards, without heavy guard, without anything, just himself. Why does he have to do this? Which courage is this? Because he believes that he don't have enemies. All the peoples and the citizens have been satisfied with the governance, with his governance. All the people have been satisfied with his leadership. So he is just okay. Everyone is okay with him. He's just feeling freely. Something that is not, you cannot see in other countries, because all these leaders, they know themselves that the people don't need them. Their people don't need them. They don't love them. They don't appreciate them. So they cannot come out and go to walk on the street just like this.
That's my boy.
But this shows a great and courage that you believe in yourself and the people believes in you. And now, what is really happening today? I've played several videos of great people like Joshua Maponga, how they've been talking about the democratic leaders of Africa, because democracy is just, they called a blue screen, just an illusion, because this is the term that is being used by our former colonizers, and it has been spread to our African leaders to use this democracy to do their own things, but not doing the things that is supposed to be done in the country so that it can help the people. So all as how that the Joshua Mamponga has said about democracy, he said that Africa at this time need the dictators, military dictators, the good dictators who will wake up in the morning and dictate to something. We need to have an airstrip, then it automatically it happens. We need roads. We need a healthcare system, the best healthcare systems, and it happens. Not the leaders who are being elected democratically. They come to office and they start a project in a ministry. Then it takes 5 years for this project to be completed, and the government or the regime that has brought out or subjected to this project is not the one that will continue or build up this project, but the coming regime.
Any African leader who can hear me out there on the entire continent, if you aspire to be a president, please follow the path of Traore. Africa does not need democracy.
What do we need?
It's a smokescreen of lies, which allows imperialism and neocolonialism to continue. Africa needs dictators. Africa needs military dictators.
Military, not just any other dictator.
Military for security. Dictators in that they must dictate the right thing. We need people that are purposeful, cutting down the bureaucracy of democracy and getting things done. If you walk up into your parliament right now, you'll have papers the size of this room of good ideas that have never been implemented, roads that have never been finished, buildings and hospitals that have not been repaired, but budget approved and voted. It's in the pipeline.
So the democracy in Africa in politics has been a game changer that is only oppressing the weak, the weak people and the poor people. But this is a game that's being played among politicians, because when you come in Africa today, all great businesses are being owned by politicians. All big and the greatest homes and houses are being owned by politicians, because they have the authority to do whatever they want. They have money. The taxpayers' money is their money, because this is the money that they use to give themselves power and everything they want in a country. So today, the country, Africa, just like the former colonizers used to say, that Africa is not matured enough to govern itself. And I can support this. Now, if African leaders for themselves are not able to handle their issues, they handle their issues and their problems and put things in order to make their countries continue going as how it's supposed to go. I've followed the news from Tanzania. After Samia Suluhu Hassan has been given a certificate of recognition of a presidential elect, she has said clearly that the law of that country or constitution does not allow anyone to go and challenge the outcomes of political outcomes in a court. So it means that any result that comes out, everyone has to accept, whether it's good or bad, whether you agree with it or you disagree. You have to accept it, because that is how the law of that country provides. So if this is a democratic country, then the people are not, they don't have faith or don't believe in outcome of the politics. Why do they not allow to go and maybe appeal or challenge the government from the results in a court. So this means that it's true that Africa is not mature enough to govern itself. And this is being proved and justified by our own leaders, whom we are going very early in the morning to elect to that position, which we are believing that maybe they're going to help us, but they have never had any interest for the Africans, but for themselves. I will stick and believe in the words of Patrice Pielo Lumumba, in the words of Ibrahim Traore, and the words of Joshua Maponga. Because when you go to African leaders, the only leaders who was elected democratically, and I've seen him coming out to congratulate Ibrahim Traore for all that he's doing in Africa, is only the leader of Botswana, Dr. Duma Boko. But other leaders don't support this.
Traore is doing them. Traore wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff, they look at me and say, what is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years, then we evaluate, then there are complaints, and there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you.
Because they fear. They fear in this. Duma Boko is congratulating Ibrahim Traore because he is doing what is required to be done in the country. He is doing what the citizens need to get from the government. But these other leaders can't come and support the leaders or the military leaders because they know what they're doing. Even after they do all that they're doing today, they know the truth behind everything. They know where the problem is, and they know why they are not able to fix the problem. So it is upon us, we Africans, to stand up, keep on fighting, keep on demanding our rights, our freedom, because through this is the only way we are going to get what we need in leadership. This is the only way we are going to liberate our countries. This is the only way we are going to get freedom in our countries, in our continent of Africa. So I will not take much of your time. The leader of Tanzania, Madam SULUHU, has failed African women, because now Africans will not have faith in women leadership, because she has tried to show the bad example. Because you can't be saying that you are democratic when you see your fellow women crying out on the street because their lovely families or their lovely children have lost their life on the streets, just going to ask or demand their freedom and their rights. They are just dying innocently without any crime they have committed. The crime that they have committed is going on the street to ask or cry for their rights, which has caused their life. So Samia Suluhu has failed all African leaders. And at this time, I don't think if the Africans will believe in women anymore. Until next time, we can be the same. Thank you and be blessed. Watching from. I love you and appreciate your support.